Ego loves this notion, the idea that something is fair or not. A proud man is always looking down on things and people. And, of course, as long as you are looking down, you cannot see something that is above you. Let others slap each other's on the back while you're back in the lab or the gym or pounding the pavement. To be or to do, which way will you go? This is what the ego does. It crosses out what matters and replaces it with what doesn't. A poet's function is not to experience the poetic state. That is a private affair. His function is to create it in others. You know what is a better response to an attack or a slight or something you don't like? Love. The first product of self-knowledge is humility. When you are not practicing, remember, someone somewhere is practicing, and when you meet him, he will win. It is impossible to learn that which one thinks one already knows. We can seek to rationalize the worst behavior by pointing to outliers. He's not that different from the rest of us. We're all full of anxieties, doubts, impotence, pains, and sometimes a little tinge of crazy. Silencing the noise around them, they could finally hear the quiet voice they needed to listen to. He who indulges empty fears earns himself real fears. Having authority is not the same as being an authority. Having the right and being right are not the same either. The only real failure is abandoning your principles. Killing what you love because you can't bear to part from it is selfish and stupid. We seem to think that silence is a sign of weakness, that being ignored is tantamount to death, and for the ego, this is true. So we talk as though our life depends on it. The way to do really big things seems to be to start with deceptively small things. Ego is the enemy of building, of maintaining, and of recovering. There was no grand narrative. You should remember you were there when it happened. What is rare is not raw talent, skill, or even confidence, but humility, diligence, and self-awareness. Meanwhile, love is right there, egoless, open, positive, vulnerable, peaceful, and productive. Your potential, the absolute best you are capable of, that's the metric to measure yourself against. The greatest work and art comes from wrestling with the void. Only ego thinks embarrassment or failure are more than what they are. The bigger the ego, the harder the fall. We must prepare for pride and kill it early, or it will kill what we aspire to. We must be on guard against that wild self-confidence and self-obsession. The question we must ask for ourselves is, are we going to be miserable just because other people are? The ego we see most commonly goes by a more casual definition: an unhealthy belief in our own importance, arrogance, self-centered ambition. There is no way around it. We will experience difficulty. We will feel the touch of failure. Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know. We tend to think that ego equals confidence, which is what we need to be in charge. In fact, it can have the opposite effect. You cannot get better if you are convinced you are the best. Ignore those who mess with your pace. Make it so you don't have to fake it, that's the key. If you shut up truth and bury it under the ground, it will but grow and gather to itself such explosive power that the day it bursts through, it will blow up everything in its way. You could say that failure always arrives uninvited, but through our ego, far too many of us allow it to stick around. One might say that the ability to evaluate one's own ability is the most important skill of all. Without it, improvement is impossible. People can get lucky and win. People can be assholes and win. Anyone can win. But not everyone is the best possible version of themselves. Find out why you're after what you're after. So yes, hitting bottom is as brutal as it sounds. But the feeling after it is one of the most powerful perspectives in the world. Ego tells us that meaning comes from activity, that being the center of attention is the only way to matter. What matters is that you learn how to manage yourself and others before your industry eats you alive. She did what a lot of us do when we are scared or overwhelmed by a project. She did everything but focus on it. He who will do anything to avoid failure will almost certainly do something worthy of a failure. When we lack a connection to anything larger or bigger than us, it's like a piece of our soul is gone. As they say, this moment is not your life, but it is a moment in your life. How will you use it?